This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
We mixed. We loaded it. We edited it.
Sometimes we get so deep into conversation that we have separate segments worthy of their own place in the sun.
Here is a reshuffled mini episode.
Have you guys ever gone to meetups in your area? I mean, that might actually be a good idea.
I've been overdue for a while. I have seen so many on, believe it or not, meetup.com. But
Yeah.
I did avoid some of them for the longest time because some of them were kind of political, and I was like, see, those are kind of the ones that even if you're just dropping something off for a friend, kind of like I don't post anything about the current Israel and Palestine
Yeah.
issue. I don't want to be on a government watch list unintentionally. I also don't want to be
Go to a podcaster meetup. That's safe.
There you go. I don't want to be targeted by some incel gunman who's looking for an excuse to, light me up.
Yeah, I don't get political about that either.
That's why I clarified my topics to talk about if I'm on a podcast with somebody, so they know what not to talk about and shit.
There you go.
Because it's easier that way. If you clarify what you're about versus someone just, ambushing you about something. What do you think about the current war? I'm like, what war? There's a lot
I had
of them.
somebody ambush me
Where do we
about that before the war even started. I was like, damn it, I'm going to have to steer this conversation a different direction.
Yeah, no thank you.
I don't like where you're going.
It's my show, damn it.
It was actually on their show, but it was still...
No, Reena. No.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. Scared it too. It was him expressing his views, but I did not agree with his views. So
right, you're here
I tried to switch the subject.
You're here to do a crossover. Yeah, if it's just movies or shows, I'll just nod. But usually, if I do try to do kind of all I need to do is just look at certain tweets and just kind of get an idea. It's like, okay, this person's very over the top, or I think they're not necessarily trying to be offensive, but they're one step away from saying the wrong thing, if that makes sense.
100%.
Someone will get hurt
before,
or I'll look like an asshole just because I'm related to them. So I'm trying to not even be judgy about the person judging me. But yeah, I try to avoid a car crash before, if I can see the pile up miles ahead. I just
put your seatbelt on.
I'm going the service road today. No highway time.
That's why me and Cam get along so well. It's he comes because we never had an argument. We've never had a disagreement on shit. And, I give more introspective looks from my POV and then compare it to his.
I clicked with Reena because you made a very clear. It's you want to kind of highlight everybody with any kind of day job. And it's so that's cool. You found a way to kind of make that stand out. And then have your old man, step in also. He had listened to it. It's see, double validation.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Triple validation if we're counting all 3 occupants. So there you go.
Bring in the other generation.
Yeah, that's true. Free generations. Holy moly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gen Gap is such a pain in the ass sometimes. My worst issue with trying to date today is age. I cannot tell ages apart anymore. I've lost that sight. Like Lionel, I don't have sight beyond sight
surgery or makeup.
No, it's just I can't tell. All these 20-somethings or 30-somethings.
I even try to tell my own teenage son about that. I'm like, look, AI lies, Botox lies.
I can't imagine.
Makeup lies.
There's a reason to avoid online AI. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Eesh.
Yeah, that's why I really think it's important. Like, even if you hit it off with somebody, and you have some great conversations, you need to meet in person as soon as possible.
True.
Yeah, like don't create some false reality. Although I give it to you, I think it's crazy and amazing that you've kept in touch with somebody 20 years and never having met them.
Heads off to
That's
you, dude.
unique. I hope you get to meet that chick.
I hope
we were supposed to meet up actually last decade, but
you could have shaved off half that relationship.
I know, right? Like,
all right,
shit.
so I'm no expert, but Oreo, you're giving me so much good advice. Reena, you're a godsend. So I'm going to tell you, Oreo, your advice. Start the hourglass.
For what?
For meeting up.
Okay. Yeah, we were supposed to meet up a few years ago.
How old is she?
She is 31 now with a kid.
All right.
Is she single?
Yeah, she's married, but
okay, so no.
It's a bad she went through a lot of bad relationships and marriages, and I was there for every one of them. And it's rough. Like, we're better as friends, but we were supposed to meet up a few years ago, and that didn't work out because she decided to go meet with another friend instead.
All right, just say it. You got 365 days.
Yeah, I know. But she's tapped for both of us are tapped for money and shit. I'm completely broke all the time because I'm paying off my bed. I'm trying to put money back to try and move out. And every shit just keeps coming up. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And it gets to the point where it's like, there's never enough fucking money. Even when I'm saving money, there's still not enough money. And she's working on moving to she's moving to a cheaper townhouse so she has more space for her and her son and her dog.
You might have to drive to see this friend.
I don't drive. I have never gotten my license. I don't know how to drive.
All right. Perfect.
Yep.
There's the next thing. Conquer the license.
Yeah.
The friend with a motorcycle. I believe in you, buddy.
A motorcycle. I have horrible balance.
Ride a bike.
I like motorcycles, but I have horrible balance.
All right, go by train. I know you can do this. I believe in you.
I've never been on a train and I've never traveled.
This could make a great story.
This really could.
Seriously, that would be amazing.
So
you should document all of that.
And you document this. How we helped a colleague make his dream come true. Perfect.
That would be an amazing story. You want to go viral? That would do it.
It'd be worth it because there's a positive outcome either way. So it's not who married who.
I've known this chick for 20 years. I've never driven. I've never been on a train.
A YouTube web series.
I've known her through multiple marriages. Get ready, saddle up, follow the trip.
Steady, go. Yes.
I don't want to be viral though. That's the thing. Like, I keep to myself.
Even if it's just me and Cam watching, it would be worth it.
You got a solution. You got a workaround.
I know. I know.
Just repeat that.
You know. I know I have workarounds and
you could even like get a limo driver. You could get creative here.
Borrow someone's credit card.
Get a horse and carriage.
It's not stealing if something good came out of it.
Thanks, Cam. I'll remember that when I go
to jail. I think you could literally get like a GoFundMe
hey, Mom,
together.
I'm borrowing your credit card.
I actually thought about you putting my Cash App up to get help with bills, but I am so terrified of that because I don't want to get help because I've always been self-taught that I shouldn't ask for help even though I need it. I've had people.
You're not wrong.
I know a lot of people have
just asked for $1 each.
I know that's funny. I know I remember that joke. That's good shit. But going back to Paul, who I lost in 2011, the anaphylactic shock. Mm-hmm. He offered to help me out one time, and because back in my 20s, I was horrible with money. Absolutely fucking horrible. I had overdraft fees. I went through 3 different bank cards.
Oh, jeez.
And I could not keep track of money. I was so shitty with it. And I ended up, I exploded the one night at Sheets over this. And I went through, it took me 6 Marlboro Red 100s and 2 Red Bulls to calm down. I was that pissed off. And Paul was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Fucking money." And he's like, "Dude, I can help if you need it. Like, how much do you need? I can give you like a couple grand right now." I'm like, "No, I don't want your money. I really don't. Like, I appreciate that, but no." Because he was a giving person. He was a very giving man. And I loved him for
cool.
that.
That is cool.
I love that shit with him. Like, he was so great. And now
Did you ever
gone.
track down your bio dad?
I tried. My friend Mike, my ex-friend Mike.
Did he do 23andMe or whatever?
No, he had connections and shit. And he actually dug up addresses, and we actually went to the courthouse in 2011 for that. Because I found out about him October 2011. And I told Mike about it, and he's like, we're going to go to the courthouse. And I was with Allie at the time, too. We were still together. And I went to the courthouse, and I didn't know what the fuck to expect. And we dug up the files. Everything was public. There was an envelope with an outfit of one of my outfits. It was green shorts and a shirt. There was documents, and the one thing I wanted was to see what he looked like. I don't know what this motherfucker looks like. I still don't know. And what popped up was
Like, what's his name? I want to look him up. I just found you online.
Oh, nice.
I did work in court TV for 5 years. I might be able to find him.
Oh, wow. Yeah. His name is Charles Edward Jones III. And I wanted to see what he looked like because I needed that, and I didn't know.
Where's he from?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah. I went through the documents, and I was so frantic with this. And when I saw my clothes in an envelope, I was like, "This feels like a fucking movie."
I just found a court case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there is a court case. It was a custody battle over me at 14 months.
Something else.
No joy.
It's the first thing that came up.
You're on court TV.
Is it Charles E. Jones III?
Yeah.
I wonder if this is true. 2007, did something happen?
I don't know.
It says pled guilty to 2 counts of distributing cocaine.
Jeez.
I really don't know. The only case that I know is the custody battle over me. And
Charles E. Jones III.
Yeah. And that was back I was 14 months old, so that was 87.
This is in Missouri, though.
Oh, no, that's not him. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, I get to the documents, and I'm like, this is like a movie. And it's how I said that. And when it got to, I was so frantic with the paperwork because I was like, where is it? Where is it? And Mike found the paper, and it said that it was a blood test that he had to take because he didn't believe I was a father. He didn't believe he was a father to me. So he was petitioning for a paternity test. Typical baby daddy shit. So fucking typical. If you're a black man and you fathered a kid, you are the fucking father. Plain and goddamn simple. Stop avoiding a test. Just do it. It'll help. Own up to your shit. Fuck.
Yes.
The paper pisses me off. The paper said 99.2% match to me. And I cried. I bawled in that fucking room. And I was a wreck. I was an absolute wreck reading that. And
but see, you've tried to find your bloodline. I think you can find this friend.
And the thing.
What about his dad?
I don't know his dad's name. I know nothing about Charles's history at all. I don't know shit. I know nothing about him except the court case. That's it.
Jeez.
And
you should do some digging.
I did. I got in
this
touch.
might give you extra validation, is what Reena's getting at.
Yeah, I got in touch with my former PO actually, and when I was in high school and I got going back to being arrested and shit, he was my PO. I love that man so much. He's so cool. I told him, I was like, can you find information on him and get back to me? And I haven't heard from him since because he's got cases and whatnot, but he's cool. But
you can search public record.
I know, but at the same time, I don't want to have a meltdown over that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because there's different things I will avoid so I don't have a meltdown.
Okay.
Because right now I'm in a good place where I'm healing.
Okay.
And I attribute that to binaural beats, tantric sex beats vids, and chakra vids that help me sleep at night. And
okay, put those links in the show notes too.
Yeah, definitely. I'll send them to Cam and whatnot because it's so many of them that I love.
And I promise we will have way more people on the next roundtable.
Oh, definitely. Because
I think we just found the next annual event.
Oh my God, how cool would it be if you helped him find his dad? Actually, I interviewed a girl who was adopted at birth. I interviewed her adopted mom, her birth mom, her half sister that the mom kept 16 months later.
Oh, wow.
And she and I were pregnant at the same time. And
she got twinned pregnancies? Damn.
So she got a hotel room for her mom who was still homeless. We sent the mom a pair of like Apple earbuds. I interviewed the mom like on the street in the hotel room.
Wow.
Anyway, from the interview that I got of her mom, she found her dad.
Wow.
And ended up meeting him. I actually still wanted to like do an update story where I interview the dad, but her adopted dad literally just died this week. I didn't get the interview with him. And she just met her bio dad for like the first time ever this, past like couple of months ago.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was able to ask her birth mom stuff that maybe my friend wouldn't have asked.
Yeah, because it's always about comfort level.
And so as somebody being like totally outside of the situation, I feel like she shared interesting details like of what street she lived on, what street he lived on, what group home they were in, what were some of the people's names in the group, like identifying information that she was able to track him down. Although she did do 23andMe too. And he had like a bunch of other kids.
Yeah.
But also like you were saying, my friend who got adopted, she was the one out of the 5 that like got a better life. Like the mom kept the other kids and
oh damn.
Yeah, they did not have an easy life. And they didn't get an education and a lot of them struggled. Yeah, really it's a crazy story. And
education is important.
Her dad too, like, he's got a bunch of different kids and he's not really in any of their lives and he's probably not really going to be in her life. And, you have to really set expectations of meeting somebody that hasn't been a part of your life for your whole life.
Yeah, I don't
Man,
really have... It's really mind-blowing. Like, if you find out that you have... Like, when I found out about Charles, I didn't know he existed. This is the funny part. I didn't know he existed until 2011.
Wow.
Previous to that, I always knew I was mixed because I look at different black celebrities and stuff like, yeah, I look like them. And my mother kept this shit from me. She's like, don't tell people you're mixed. It's a lie. Her words, not mine.
Wow.
Okay, so you're not proud of your heritage.
I know. And then he came to the surface in an argument, as always. I said something, and she said, well, he's not even in the picture anymore. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? And she's like, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. I'm like, no, you fucking tell me what you just said. Who is he? And she's like, nobody. Don't worry about it. And I grilled the hell out of her until she finally told me. And then I asked my aunt about it, and she knew. My grandmother knew at the time.
That's good.
And everybody knew and didn't tell me. Even
I
my
wonder if they
cousin,
have other information that could help.
they told me all they could tell me that they knew. And my older cousin, who I consider an aunt, because she's the oldest of us,
Uh
because she has that aunt. She looks like an aunt. You
huh.
know, she really does. I
Wow.
always consider her an aunt, even though she's my cousin. But she looks like an aunt because she's the oldest out of us. And she's
Have
like,
you
"Yeah,
ever thought of hanging with your aunt? Since
I've talked to her. We keep in touch now and then.
no, I just mean under the roof, since you've had so many issues with hanging with some of your other
She,
bloodline.
my aunt likes her privacy, and she's
Okay,
older too, so it wouldn't really. Nah.
gotcha. All right.
Um,
No, I'm just
but yeah. My cousin brought up the one time she went. She was with me and Charles and I forget who else, and they were at the aquarium in Baltimore. And she's like, "Yeah, he was dark, like darker than Richard Pryor." And I'm like, "Damn." But she's like, "Yeah, he was really reserved and kept to himself." I'm like, "Yeah." And when I
it's a
got
start.
when I got all the court, I still have the court documents and shit. I kept that. I got copies. And when I found out about the 99.2% match and I was bawling, the secretary told Mike that there was no charge for the papers because I was crying.
Aw.
And yeah,
Wow.
and I found out a lot about him through those papers, not just that he was my real father, but also that his traits were he likes big rings. I like big rings too. What else? Uh, Jewelry and some other stuff that we shared in common. I'm like, I didn't even know
Whoa.
this shit. Yeah. Like it's genetic. And I'm like, I didn't know any of this shit.
Was
I
there any
don't,
addresses on there? Because you might be able to Google an address and then it would give
there
you other
were,
addresses.
there were a lot of addresses, but a lot of them turned out to be phony.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
Mike tracked down a lot of shit for me. But
Maybe you could have him do an update search.
Yeah, they're no kidding.
I kind of burned
With
the
all
bridge.
of these public records now, though, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly,
I mean, I burned the bridge with Mike because
oh no.
I didn't mean to do it, but it needed to be done. And it was nothing again. I look back and I regret doing it, but at the same time, I was tired of being put on the back burner. Like he's like, "Oh, I'll come down and see." And this is the time he had his first kid. So
I'm like obsessed now. Do you think he's on LinkedIn?
I don't know where he would be. I have no clue. Mike lives up the street from me, honestly.
Dude, this
And
might be a good reason to reconnect with him.
I don't know. I run into him at Walmart all the time, and he avoids the hell out of it. And I
Be
burned
like,
the bridge.
hey, want to help me connect with
Never
my
too late.
dad?
I know. I burned the bridge because I was put on the back burner so much. And I made a post about it. And when he saw it, he's like, "We're never going to talk again. Don't ever try to get in contact with me again." And that was 2011. And
Okay, well, time heals. That's been a while.
I know. His girlfriend still says hi to me. So I'm like, that's a start. But I even told her to tell him I'm sorry. And he still
That's
hasn't
nice.
said, yeah. Because I'm about healing. I want to heal. I don't want to be in a negative place anymore. I get so tired of it. And healing myself has done so much for me. And it's helped me really reanalyze a lot of old situations and shit that I was in. And just trying to function is good. Trying to function is really good. Some days
good.
I have a hard time functioning sometimes. And it's tricky trying to just navigate a day sometimes. Like my main goal now is to stick with the gym, and that's really
That's a big
hard.
good thing to do.
Many of
It
us
is. Like,
still need
I
it.
love it. It's
Yeah, I
fun.
struggle, but it is a
Yeah.
good goal.
It is. Like,
Yep.
it's a really good goal. And at the same time, it's so because I'm like, I don't get bored at the gym because I'm there for 7 or 8 hours. doing workouts. I take breaks in between, and people are like, wow, you're there that long? I could never do that. I'm like, I'm also fasting, and people are like, I could never do that either. That's too hard. I'm like,
you set your time, you set your goals.
exactly. Like, I'm fasting right now till Friday or Saturday because I want to have my energy back. Like, I get more energy when I'm not eating, and I love that. That feels great. So
it all goes back to dating, guys.
It really does. This is what's fun about these podcasts. Like, we'll start out with dating, it veers off into all kinds of avenues, comes right back to the genesis. It's a great growth process when you see somebody evolving from their previous cocoon into something new. It's fucking priceless. Like, you see somebody going through a new genesis. It's a beautiful thing. Because if it's a tragedy, if they lost a family member, it's really sad because they're like, oh no, I don't have that pillar in my life anymore. And I'm like, okay, this is your new genesis. This is your rock bottom. You'll bounce back. It'll take time. Everything takes time to heal. There will be days that will remind you of them. There will be different things that echo them. And, they'll always be there for you, no matter what. You still have those memories of them. Cherish those. But you have to live your life. And it's always those little details and shit that pop up. And when you lose somebody, you go through a new genesis and you come out the other side a lot better. Because the way I look at it, I had to go through that trauma to understand something that was blind to you in the past or in the present. And then you understand that lesson from the trauma.
Totally.
And I've gone through these new genesises so much, and God, it's a bitch and I fucking hate it, but I'm always grateful that I have the lessons to learn from those genesis that I've experienced because they're helpful. They're great tools to fall back on, and being open-minded helps a lot. Whereas if you're closed-minded and go through this shit, you're not going to understand anything. You're just going to blame everybody around you. And people, you shouldn't do that because if you don't heal yourself, you will never have a good bond with somebody else. It's the core deal with dating. If you hit it off organically, if it's an organic evolution and a bond out of 8 billion fucking people on this planet, the two of you combined into synthesis, that is rare. Always cherish that. Never let that go. Remember why you connected and how you did it. Don't let it go. Because if you let it go, that person is going to be gone forever and you done lost them. Or you were meant to connect for a short period of time and they taught you things. You taught each other things. And then you grew apart and you went to somebody else in the process. But you still have that connection from when you first talked. And that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Because you can come back to that. That's why I have these long-lasting friendships with certain people, from all poetry to high school. And it's amazing. Like, Jesus. I've learned so much shit. Because I value that I have learned more about dating from my female friends than I have from my male friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I learned so much. Oh my God. Like,
male friends.
If you're a guy and you don't have any female friends, you really should try to get some. Not fuck them, obviously, because that's not the point of the exercise here. The point is to talk to them, talk with them.
Get rid of the whole want to.
I gotta go tuck in my husband. Speaking of,
okay. I think we pretty much have scraped the surface, but yeah, I'd love to do another.
Yes.
One of these in the very future. So, man,
that's a good cutoff point.
Reena, where can we find you on the interwebs for those who want to know?
bettercalldaddy.com.
Perfect. Yep. She's got a
And
wonderful.
on Twitter, Reena.
Yeah, on her link tree, you can find her Facebook group. Check that out.
Yeah.
That's a great one too.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can have me on if you want. Shit, I'm free all the time.
Okay. Have an awesome night. I want to hear about your tracking down your daddy story.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen. Better find daddy.
Okay.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up